Alright, hey guys, this is Bezmor, and I've got a nice group PK vid for you again. I do have to apologize, my computer is horrible and my graphics card is from the Stone Ages, so because of graphical limitations and just my computer being a piece of there's some really, it's really laggy, bad frame rate, and 10 minutes of what I recorded was completely corrupted. You'll see at the very end it just freezes and nothing happens. As well as, I DC'd in the middle. So just pre-warning, it's not the best video quality, but I figured I'd put it up because it was pretty awesome. And also, there's still a few things you can learn. So we were just out of TW. This other faction, the best faction on the server, supposedly, like when they saw us come out of TW, they rushed Silverpool, and so there was like 20 of them standing right where I am now. And my faction was like, oh great, look, they already brought an army just to fight. Like, there was only like 2 people out of safe zone at that time, but then we're like, you know what, let's just go out and, have some fun. And we rushed out, and on our first, like, time through, we, like, wiped everybody. And so then, as you can see here, I told my faction leader to signal us to Westgate, and then I knew they would troll us. See, he's trying to say, why are we in the safe zone? And we're not actually in the safe zone. And I knew they were going to do that. But I moved us to Silverpool because I thought it would be funny. It's like counter-trolling. It's awesome. But anyways, in this group fight, as a psychic who has a crap computer, you're really reduced to what endgame psychics are pretty good at, and that's like a supporting role. Now, you say, what the heck are you talking about? Psychics are probably some of the hardest hitters in the game. Yes and no. Like, wizards hit harder. You can't get around that. Even when they Undyne Strike for you, they're going to hit harder because of BT, MS, bids, and then even like Glacial Snare and Sand, whatever it's called, Sandstorm? I don't remember. But anyways, like, they're just going to hit harder than you. So really, when you're out here, you're trying to get the people set up for wizards and, the heavier targets. Lighter targets you can solo. So you notice I troll archers this entire video because psychics are really good counters to archers, whether it be in like a 1v1 scenario or just in general. Like, we've got a fast hitting thing, and so despite the fact that they can kite, like if a wizard's trying to kill an archer, like the archer can like dance circles around them and just keep firing like stunning arrow and aim low and then abuse them from range. So that doesn't work as well on a Psy, and I've got, a faster skill set, I've got a pretty decent movement seal proc, and so one thing you'll also notice is that I'm abusing glacial shards to its like maximum possibilities, because like in this kind of scenario, keeping people from running is the most important thing, not doing damage per se. Now, I mean, yes, I just did 10k that archer, but he's got like 20k HP or something. I just 10k'd him twice. Anyways, you're about to see just a random cut, because this is where my computer DC'd, and I logged back on, and I was purged, but I wasn't dead. Or no, I mean, I wasn't purged. I mean, I lost bus because I logged off. Anyways, that's where I DC'd, reconnected. But yeah, like, in the Psychics endgames, in situations like this, is, if you're coming up against full +12 Jade of Steady Defense armored people, in group PK, your job should be, dim-vigging the highest priority targets that are, that need it. Don't waste dim-vig on, an assassin, alright? Waste it on, like, a really high priority target DD that doesn't die very easily. Glacial Shard spam for the AoE damage, but also just that movement seal proc is extremely important. I mean, it's one thing to get stunned, but if you get stunned, it's very easy to fortify a stun, or to badge a stun, or to AD after you've been stunned. Movement seal is a bit of a different thing, and it oftentimes, mines Sage, so it's like, what, 6 seconds? Which is longer than my stun, I think, on Earth Vector. It's not longer than my solo stunning stun, but you see, I'm not really getting focused that much at the beginning because they weren't thinking straight. So really, being able to just movement seal a lot of people is really important. And of course, anytime you're coming up against a wizard, Glacial Shards is the go-to because it's high water damage, and the movement thing means that the only thing they can do is distance shrink away, and if the movement, there's a glitch, I mean, if they distance shrink while Glacial Sharded, then they can't do anything for a few seconds, so then you just catch up and doesn't help them at all. Anyways, so, you'll notice throughout the video I have lots of chi, and if you have lots of chi, you're supposed to use it, which means A, sparking, or B, throwing down your 2 spark skills like Red Tide and Stone Smasher, but with my graphics as bad as they are, you notice I have the graphics are turned to minimum. My effects are at 0. I have, I can't see people unless they're standing on top of me. Like, I have to turn everything down to minimum, and I figured casting Stone Smasher, I mean, even with effects off, it's just like, whatever, I'm too lazy. But if you're a psychic, I would say Stone Smasher if there's a nice setup, because it's a slow channel. While you're channeling it, you're gonna pray that a BM in your squad is gonna throw down a stun HF or just an HF. You don't need the stun if you're gonna Stone Smasher on top of it. But otherwise, I actually like Red Tide because it's fast. It's got a fast channel. You can drop it really fast, and then do whatever else. And I mean, it's really great to use Red Tide and Earth Vector if you've got full chi. It's a great way to help just throw down constant AoE damage. Like, if there's a massive group, right, you can go like Sandburst, Vector, Glacial, Red Tide, Sandburst, and then you've gotten like 5 hits in a row, all AoE, and I mean, like, they're just gonna be feeling the hurt at that point. So yeah, when I'm in these group fights, I mean, the biggest thing besides archer trolling that I'm doing as a psychic is, of course, prioritizing Venos and clerics, because I mean, even a cleric that has bad gear and is level 89 or like 92 or whatever level you need for Sage or Demon Purify, like, if that's all they do is hover in the air and purify targets you're attacking, it is going to be a major pain. So you can't really ignore clerics, even if they're bad gear. If they're bad gear, like, drop a soul burn and walk away. But you can't afford to have that purify going down, because it breaks your CC, and if you can't CC certain targets, like endgame, full +10 Jade of Steady Defense rank 9 clerics, you can't afford to have them just kiting you forever, because they're going to get their plume shell up, they're going to get heals off, they're going to purify everything. It's just going to be a problem. So I prioritize the clerics and Venos. So you'll see me randomly switch off of targets sometimes. And you'll see me also switch on to archers and whatnot instead of attacking certain people. The other thing is, when you're fighting against people like these, like, everybody we're fighting against has side buffs. You'll notice this. Archer had them, the cleric has them, all the clerics have them, some of the barbs have them. It's like, what on earth? Why are you guys bothering? It's not even helping you. See, he just got destroyed, and that was like a full +12 Jade Archer, by the way. And you notice that just one Will Surge combo and dead Archer. Archers, like, it's called light armor, okay? Light armor is called light armor because it's crap armor. Like, no matter what shards you put in, you cannot gain, like, really, really great defensive stats. Nothing like an Arcane Garnet Shard build or a Magic Marrow BM build or something like that. Like, what's cool about a Magic Marrow BM is, like, if you have the best gear in the game, even in Magic Marrow, a BM can have like 17k PDEF and like 18k MDEF. So it's like, wow, that's just hacks. They've got both defenses super high up there, and then they just build full Jades, and their defense level ends up in like the 80s. Or if they get a rank 8 recast, in the 90s or 100s or something ridiculous like that. So, the BMs are it's a really OP class as far as its stats, because you can do so much with it. The Psychic is another one that if you amp your PDEF really, really high, you can get pretty decent stats. I come out fully buffed now, about 15k physical and 17.9k magical. I finally refined my ring up a little bit. So, that's pretty decent stats. And if I need defense levels, I just white voodoo, and then I've got, good PDEF, good MDEF, good defense levels. Light armor, just it can't do that. Like, if you get a cube neck physical, your full rank 9, and then you shard like garnet gems in a ton of places, maybe you can get decent physical defense. Or if you go the opposite and you get sapphires, maybe you can do that. But really, there's no way to get like a super good defense on light armor. Like, I've tried a little bit and messed around, and like, you can get HP. Like, there's an archer in our faction who's like 25k HP, I think. He's going for 30k. Anyways, you can build HP with a Vite build and full +12ing, but it's really hard to get solid defense on a class like an archer. So you should not, in my opinion, archers should never be a tanky sit there and try to DD class. Like, that archer with the Jade builds, like, he has his ult is like a +12 psi, So all he does is side buff his archer and then stay on his archer. But he doesn't understand the archer's strength. In my opinion, I'm not, alright, my archer's level 69. You can hate on me all you want, but like, I can tell you right now, an archer that kites is 10 times better than an archer with like mega defense but sits still and just thinks he can tank it, because you can't tank it. It's light armor. Oh my gosh. Just stop being a noob. That's my advice if you're an archer out there. Like, learn how to kite, because that's what it's about. Like, archers, you know, archers and Sins don't have to kite because they can stun lock so well, but archers, like, it's all about the fact that you can kite and you can out anti-stun anybody, because you've got the 59 skill and the 79 skill, and I mean, it's just ridiculous how much kite archers can have. And the fact that, like, unless you one-shot an archer, it's going to be a pain to kill them, because they're just going to keep, you know, oh, they're taking damage, kite. Oh, we're taking damage, kite away. And so, you know, it's a really tough thing to deal with. If somebody who had that Jade build really knew how to kite as well, you know, then you'd get a better outcome than standing still and trying to rely on Soul of Silencing, because I would do one will surge, that archer goes poof. I hit him for like 6k. You know, that's a non-crit hit. And because he's a Jade build, you know, his HP, even fully buffed, is probably only coming out to about 18k, which means, you know, one crit, one standard, he's gone. I can charm bypass that. So, if you're an archer, please don't be a noob. Learn to kite. That's my advice. There's another guy on YouTube, Boogie Panda or something like that. He's an archer, and I think he knows how to kite pretty well. So if you're looking for help on that. So anyways, other stuff is, yeah, I was talking about the psychic as support, and really, like, if you wanna if you wanna destroy something, like, I think the ultimate combo to destroy any class in the game is a psychic and an assassin. And the reason for that is the psychic goes full support mode, and the assassin goes full on DD mode, which actually means APS. You know, there are advantages to full rank 9. You gain, on a Sin, you gain massive survivability, and you've got those Goth crits that are like, oh snap, because you throw down Chill of the Deep, you're talking like 150 plus attack levels, you know, and like, I would suggest a full Diamond build, Diamond of Tiger that is, on a full rank 9 Sin, because like, again, light armor, you're not gonna get good survivability. You're gonna get better survivability than normal. Yes, you won't die like a squishy APS Sin, but you're not gonna get enough to sit there and take hits. So that's my official opinion on that. But like, anyways, the Psy, like, alright, it doesn't matter what you're coming up against. You're coming up against a full defense barb, it doesn't matter. You're gonna diminish rig, you're gonna slow down their channeling, and then you're just gonna throw out constant DD. And you know, you can CC them with glacial shards, and since you have an assassin with you, you can use your sandblast accuracy debuff, and they won't be able to hit your assassin because their evasion's so high and the barb's a tank barb. You know, if they're a Vite build, you know, if they're a Dex build, then obviously the slowing channeling is really going to kill them, because when they go to do that mighty swing, it's going to be like, mighty slow swing, and it's going to be really funny. And you know, you can also soul burn and the dim big, and it's just, you know, the stun. You can do so much great stuff, and then if you're CCing the barb well enough that the Sin doesn't have to do any CC, then the Sin can just Demon Spark and straight up APS. The only thing they can do to that is try to invoke, and of course, if the Sin does the interrupting channeling with Throat Cut, which I think is a demon, maybe it's demon, I can't quite remember. But then they can't invoke, and then the Sin can telestun, and then bam, you know, like straight up APS on the barb, dead barb. So, you know, like the Psy Sin combo, like if you think there's like, what can it not kill, you know, like a BM cannot tank it, because if they marrow one way, the other class will screw them, right? If they marrow physical, the Psy will tear through them. If they marrow magical, the Sin will tear through them twice over, because it hurts. And you know, so that's that. Like, you know, there's not a class that can really tank the two. So, and the Psych, just, that's how it works, really. Even for the non-BM classes, it's a matter of like, oops, here's where my screen froze because my graphics card is so terrible. But anyways, I apologize for that. So, you know, like any class, they can't really focus on defending one, because say we're fighting another Psychic or something like that, you know, I'm gonna soul burn so that if they go Black Voodoo, it's gonna hurt them. And then it doesn't matter if they're in White Voodoo, Sins can cut through White Voodoo pretty darn fast. even without doing demons, you know. So yeah, there's stuff like that. And I mean, you know, if my sin is really squishy, like they're an APS build, but they know how to do damage, that's fine because I can White Voodoo and Psionic Link them, and then they won't die. So here's me 1v1ing an archer. Now in a group PK, you really rarely get to do this little 1v1 type of thing, but here's how you can see the only strength that archers really have is Purge. And if he can't purge me, like, it's really next to impossible for archers to kill psychics, because you throw down your psychic will, and then it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Like, the best thing you can do is stun me, and then maybe aim low and kite away. As you can see here, I just, you know, this guy's got so much HP. He took, like, 20k damage just now, and he's not dead. Jeez. Anyways, you know, archers... You don't want to get caught by a psychic in the wrong position. Really, it's all about kite poke, kite poke, kite poke, kite poke, wait for it, kill combo. I want to PK on an archer. It looks like fun. Anyways, so yeah. What was I saying? Well, I think you guys get the general idea. Psychic is a great support class, and unless you have a computer capable of playing the game, which I'm sure most of you do, like, I'm playing on a laptop that's, you know, old enough to make gaming near impossible, and recording even worse, and video editing, oh my gosh, it crashed after an hour of work yesterday, but, not gonna complain, I'm just, anyways. So, you know, if you're psychic, and you're in a group like this, it's really better to go full-on support because you're just going to help, you know? Like those clerics, you can soul burn, and clerics you actually do want to try and DD on because if when they plume shell, your physical classes really do have problems killing them. Like, even Sins, plume shell just, it eats physical attack like nothing. And right here there was a glitch. You see the archer, he's over there. I don't know, I think it was lag maybe. Or my graphics card being stupid, but like, I get over here and I tab to the guy and I was like, Archer, yes, 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 and then poof, he disappears, and I was like, oh, what? Oh, he must have stealthed. So then I pop my stealth pot, and then, wait a minute, he's not here. Did he die? I don't know. I have no clue what happened. Maybe somebody killed him. We were in vent, but I don't recall anybody saying we killed him. Anyways, I was like, whatever, holy path back. So, yeah. Anyways, when you're in a group fight like this, one thing you have to be careful of is, like, we were out of the safe zone the entire time. They didn't win a single round. Like, we were out there the whole time. They kept coming out and they just kept getting wrecked. But what you need to be aware of is when they come out, who they're focusing on. Right here, they were focusing on me, and I did a really bad thing, and I ran into them. Like, somehow they were behind us, and I was like, oh shoot, I just walked into it. And so here I AD'd into an IG just to, you know, if you AD into an IG, a lot of times people will just give up on you because, you know, they're like, we can't kill him for 12 seconds, ignore. But when you use that Iron Guard, what you do while you're Iron Guarded is very important. If you can throw out enough DD and your team is willing to support you enough that you can kill everybody, then sit there and nuke. If not, you need to get out of there, because once you've burned your AD, your Genie will be in cooldown, even with like a 200 Vite Genie or a Mega Magic Recharge Genie like mine. Like, you're not going to quite have Genie skills up soon, and your APOF is down. That means all you have is your own skills, which means one thing you could do if you're really worried about getting killed, just White Voodoo and start walking near your friends or away from action. And then, as you can see, I kind of disengaged by getting off to the side there, and then I just turn around and come back in and start nuking stuff again. You know, as a psychic or a wizard, you can expect to be targeted in situations like this because you're the ones really doing the damage. So yeah, as you can see, another Will Surge combo, another dead person, woohoo. When it gets to the end at the barbs, you know, you can dim big them, as you can see here. I think, like, when this combo failed, I diminished figured him. Yeah, my mouse is there, you know I'm gonna diminish figure. Yeah, his charm ticked, I'm like, yep, we need it. Anyways, yeah, so watch out for when you're getting focused, when that first wave is incoming. As a psychic, if you're in the wrong voodoo, aka if you're in black voodoo, you have to be aware that you are vulnerable. And so sometimes what you need to do is either throw down your Apoth and Genie, or you just need to get out of there. One thing I like to do is stay in the air, and then as they come in, I just literally either take altitude or drop if they're coming from the air, or just fly backwards, so that they're not able to get to me first, because that way they have to pick another target, or they have to run through 15 other people to get to me, which means they're not going to make it. So, well, I mean, they can make it, but they won't make it without having to waste something. So, anyways, watch out for getting focused, because it's going to be a problem. And that goes for a lot of classes, actually, not just wizards and psychics. If you're an assassin, be careful, because, like I said, light armor, and light armor, you can get squished very easily by any magic class. So if you're an assassin, stay stealth, pick your targets, don't get in the middle of a fight. Look for the clerics, look for the Venos, stuff like that. So I am nearing the point, I recorded 35 minutes approximately of PK, and then even after I stopped recording, I was like, my computer doesn't have the space to record any more than 35 minutes. So I stopped, but we still PK'd for a half hour, and in the end, they gave up, and it was awesome. Because, best faction on the server got beat. Yay, us. So anyways, we are approaching the point where I had 10 more minutes of recorded footage, but it got corrupted or something, so the screen literally froze, and all you could see was my mouse movement. So I don't know what happened there. I apologize for the loss. I hope that this video has been educational or entertaining in some manner, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten as much videos up. I just can't find PK. It's so dead on my server, and I also went on vacation for the 4th of July, and then my sister came and visited me, and then my mother's visiting me, and I'm getting registered for fall classes, and it's pretty busy. But hey, when PK is happening, I try to be there, and I will try to get more videos for you. Anything else I can say? In this group PK scenario, I mentioned you should be using that chi. I don't use it much because I'm so laggy, and we don't need it. You don't see too many situations where we absolutely needed it. There's one time where I had a really clutch stun where the archer was running away, and I managed to stun him. But anyways, what else can I say? I think that's about it. Will Surge is gonna be a requirement endgame for all these stupid psi-buffed people. So just get it, and you'll be able to kill a ton of people. Will Surge is a great genie skill. It just shuts so many people down. It shuts psychics down so easily. I don't know why people don't. Anyways, here's where my screen is about to freeze, so I will see you guys next time.